Hola, por favor. Welcome to another episode of Red's Random Ruminations, where I ruminate on random things and you watch and listen to me randomly ruminate on random things during my ruminations. Anyway, I am Red. I am the defender of liberty, speaker of truth, and the purveyor of common sense. So, to start off, I made a video yesterday. You know, it's 14 degrees out. I had to go somewhere, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was today. So I had to go somewhere, and I tried to lay down a video, about a half-hour video, nice and short, believe it or not. But I got a couple of developments and a comment today in the video that I just released, part 3, right, showing ballistically and forensically exactly how this bullet proves what I talked about in the first video. I know it's about 8 hours worth of material, and like with me, there's only so much time in a day. Like I said, I had to try to make this video, then go somewhere and edit it today. And of course, my tangenting, I tried to make this one point, and I forgot to make the point, and I was going to edit this video into that one, and so I just decided to start over. So the big thing is that, especially if you're watching this one first, because it's shorter or whatever, whoever you're talking to, have them watch the first video and then the second video. Otherwise, it's like trying to watch The Return of the Jedi halfway through, and you're like, what do you mean second Death Star? Who's this Emperor guy? He's his father? That's his father? What are you talking about? So, because of that comment, you guys really have to watch the thing all the way through. Now, I equate it to digging a well. All right? It's going to take you 8 hours, but if you take 8 hours to dig a well, you don't have to walk all the way to the river and all the way back to fetch a pail of water like Jack and Jill. The water's right there. So up front, you're going to put in a lot of time and effort, but then you're never going to have to walk in the sweltering heat in the sun. You're never going to have to walk in the wintertime, the freezing cold, and you got to, bash the ice off the river to get water. It's right there in the well, and it's all filtered through the ground. So I implore you to watch the first video, then the second, then the third, just like you're watching Star Wars, the Star Wars trilogy, because otherwise you're going to have questions that's not going to make sense. So now, this commenter here, all right, I know I say all right all the time. I'm sorry, I'm trying to correct myself, just like I'm trying to finish my thoughts, which is why I'm doing this video, because the other one I didn't. It has its disadvantages, trust me. All right. The commenter said, good stuff, period. I honestly don't believe CK was shot. Okay, I got good stuff, but, and again, I'm not trying to be disparaging to you, fella. Yeah, fella. Because you watched it, but after I'm reading this, I'm like, did you really watch? Did you really do your homework? Did you really read the assigned material, young man? Because you said, I think it was a shaped charge in the battery of his Rode microphone. Well, I addressed that. That was supposed to make it look like a chest shot. Okay, but it wasn't a chest shot. A piece broke off and shot into his neck, which you can see fall out of his neck with the blood. Okay, so there's a piece of something in his neck that fell out of his neck with the blood. All right, as I said in both of my videos, what goes up must come down. All right. But in that situation, what goes down must come up, when we talked about decapitation. But if you had a piece that broke off and shot into his neck and you could see it fall out of his neck. All right. So you're saying it went into his neck and then fell out of his neck. Or contrary, it came in somewhere and then popped out of his neck. So something's going to go in his neck and then pop out of his neck. No, that's just like the Nick Fuentes, I've got an elastic skin, my elastic skin pushed it back, or his spinach-addled neck, because he was so healthy, stopped a 30-06 bullet. So, dude, it can't happen. It's not physically possible. A piece broke off and shot into his neck, which you can see fall out of his neck with the blood. All right, so that's one thing. It goes in and it goes out. Okay, but yet you can't see it go in, but you can see it come out. All right, the second part to that is, like I said, if it comes out, it's got to go in somewhere. All right, so if you can't see it go in, it means it's got to come in somewhere else. All right, it's a shaped charge, All right, first off, it'd have to be small. It'd have to fit into the microphone. That worked, because otherwise the tech people would have said, we got to hold off, unless they were all involved. We got to hold off because we can't get the live feed or whatever going on. So it has to work. And if it's a Rode microphone, that means they'd have to package in an actual Rode microphone, or they packaged it, like I said before, how often you look at a man's shoes, into something that looked like it. Maybe they spray painted it or marked it or whatever. And again, unless everyone's in on it, if somebody goes, this isn't the right microphone, this isn't a Rode, this looks kind of like it, but it's thicker. And then it would have to explode probably from the magnet part of the back. And then the other part, like I said, hold a button. I'm not suggesting this so that people can, oh, you told me to hold a firecracker in my hand and you turned the smoke and blew my fingers off. I did like that meme. This is the last day that some people will have all of their digits when it's the 4th of July. This is the last morning that some people wake up with all of their digits. And it's true every single year. But, all right, fall out of his neck. So, and again, I talked all about this stuff, not the thing going in and out. Not the thing, I need a microphone here, but then I just hit it. Going in and out, okay, there's no residue, there's no gunpowder, there's no tearing of the shirt, there's no blood, there's no flesh damage except for right here. So it's going to hit here and then what? Just explode into here, leave no damage, and then pop out. Guys, get off of this crap. Accurate energetic systems in Tennessee, TN, which is what I used to make them before it blew up, killing all 16 workers on October 10th last year. Okay, that sounds exactly like a news article. Okay, okay. So I addressed that. I showed PepCon, all right, which is the Henderson, Nevada plant in 1988 that blew up, May 4th, 1988, that blew up because I still don't know the reason, whether it's somebody lit a cigarette, electrical, whatever, but something caught on fire. And basically ended up igniting 9 million pounds of ammonium perchlorate, which is rocket fuel for the Challenger, because the Challenger space shuttle blew up. So they canceled all the future launches, and they had all this stuff stockpiled and sitting there, and it all blew up. And when it blew up, it left a wake, an explosion wave. The explosion wave comes out and vaporizes that candy factory, that marshmallow factory. Because I said, well, although, it's a horrible thing that it happened, that, hey, Baron, you don't like marshmallows, so, the marshmallow factory got wiped out. But it wiped everything out. And yet you look at the explosion, which I showed in the video, young man who didn't do the homework, that everything is exploded, that entire building's gone. All right, the cornerstones are gone. The most structurally sound part of the building gone. And I'm guessing, just like any industrial shop, they had things bolted to the ground. Any industrial shop's got things bolted to the ground. And right here in South Milwaukee, or I used to live in South Milwaukee, was Bucyrus Erie, which made the big, huge mining equipment that built and dug the Panama Canal. Right up the road in Cudahy, there's Patrick Cudahy, the meat processing plant, now Smithfield. And they used to be, my father-in-law used to work for Laddish, which is now ATI Technologies or whatever. They make huge, huge parts for airplanes and the space shuttle, doing sonic testing. And I got another story about that, about process improvement there, that, we can offer you enough support for your Six Sigma Black Belt project, dicks. But that's what they do. That's what they make. Okay, they have, it's used, I mean, they had it at one time, they probably still do it, probably at least top 10, if not top 5, the biggest hammer forges in the entire world. At least in the country, if not the entire world, because now, obviously, everyone's trying to build bigger and better. But huge, matter of fact, the bar, because Packard Avenue, which is literally goes north and south throughout, right in the middle of Cudahy. Laddish, Patrick Cudahy, all the Vilter, all the big businesses there are right on Packard Avenue. On the west side of the road, the east side of the road, all bars. They used to be in the Guinness Book of World Records, the most amount of bars in that, whatever it was, that 1 mile stretch of Packard Avenue. All right, all bars. One of the bars right across the street from the big forge hammers is called Hammer Down, because when the hammers, you could actually, they're hammering because the bar would shake because it was so massive and so powerful. It basically rocked all the way across the street. You could feel when the hammers were working. And my buddy growing up, Mike, his dad, I remember he had this hammer, and it was it was flat. It wasn't a round handle. Okay. It was a flat handle, but it was a metal hammer and like copper and painted real nice. And it was in a case with a glass cover, and it said, you know, his dad's first name. And it said, our hammerman for 15 years. So that's what he did, worked on these hammers. They get it really hot, all right, from the forge and the foundry. They bring it over while it's still hot, and they hammer these. I'm talking huge. Just go look up Laddish, Ladish, Laddish Industries Hammer Forge. And you just see the guy standing next to this massive hammer. The human beings are this thing, massive, all right? They're bolted to the floor, all right? Even if you've got gases, like you see outside of hospitals, they have the cryogenic gases used for all sorts of stuff. They got these big, huge tanks. Those are bolted to the floor. If you're working with chemicals, you've got containers that are likely bolted to the floor. Nothing. None of those survived. Building is completely blown up, yet no damage to the trees. Something weird went on there. All right. And I know all about accurate energetic systems because, yeah, I talked about that. So this has me good stuff. Now, he's probably just buttering me up. And again, thank you for watching. But I'm willing to bet you watch, I don't know, half an hour of it. Like I said, I can't necessarily fault you because if you didn't watch my first videos, you can't like or dislike that which you do not know. But this is what I'm trying to debunk, is this garbage, this bullshit suit. Right? It says, I believe the security team was removing all the evidence. Removing all the evidence common. With all hands off before they took him to the car. I didn't believe it was an explosive, though I had heard the theory until I learned how shape charge explosives work. Okay, so let's address that. All right, I believe the security team was removing all the evidence. All right, versus my theory, which is true because the cavitation happened from the head, came down, exploded, all that tissue from the tear from the cavitation, which is what that, another microphone, which is what that jump is. Baron and all you other guys that think somehow it's going to go and do a gust of air and blast him here, not form any entrance wound that definitely would have bled onto his shirt when he's sitting there for 2 seconds before he falls over. No, but somehow it makes an exit wound. Guys, especially you, Baron, you're an attorney. Use logic. How can that happen? You have a shape charge, and it's going to hit you. It's going to blow through the back just like a fucking bullet would. It's not going to blast somewhere up here. And if the mic that's like this, it's going to blast this way. It's not going to somehow blast this way when the blasting charge is going to go this way. But somehow it's going to blast him and cause a damage to his neck when nothing goes in. But it's going to hit him so hard like the dim mock. Magically, energy goes into here and then blasts out here. Come on, guys, use your fucking heads. It's just pissing me off. I got whatever, 50 views. 50 views, yet I figured this out. And one day you guys are going to go, oh my God, he was right the whole time.
Very good. But break, not hit back.
Anyway. So, I believe the security team was removing all the evidence. All right, let's backtrack on that. According to Baron, all right, because he and Candace are really the only ones I've got time to listen to. I try to listen to some of TriggerSmart. I try to listen to some of Valhalla. I try to listen to Wolves of Fire, but and especially on the weekends, because the radio show I listen to, it's not on, so I try to play catch up, but I can't. So, Baron said, all right, the stuff was very, very toxic. All right, it caused seizures. And that's why they put the pave over, because they don't want any mess in there, because people start having seizures. They're like, well, what's in this ground? Okay, but yet these guys are going to be packing up all that evidence and sweeping it up and doing all this and being in a car where all that black plastic melted material. Nobody had seizures. Nobody's having seizures while they're handling it. Nobody's having seizures on the way to the car, much less the driver having a seizure and then crashing into something. Use your heads. U-H. Head, S-U-H. Z-U-H. Heads. Use your heads. I'm gathering all this stuff, but yet I don't have seizures, but they have to cause seizures. Really, but just not them. Versus somebody taking a shot directly from his right side into it. Boom, it expands. Oh, you wouldn't risk a shot, but you'd risk a bomb, like I said before in the video that you didn't watch. They tried to bomb Hitler. There's numerous, and I had in my head, I had a list There's numerous people. Didn't they try to bomb Castro? And it failed. Bombs aren't reliable unless you get it right next to people. And even then, boom, okay, you might blow their arm off, but do you get them? No, but you know what works? Shot right to the head. They didn't bomb Kennedy. They could have blown up the car. They could have blown up that car, rigged it with an explosive. Oh, there goes Connolly and Kennedy. Boom. You don't think they could have done that? No. What did they do? They shot him. What did they do to Martin Luther King? They shot him. What did they do to RFK? Did they bomb his car? Nope. They shot him. This isn't that complicated, folks. All right. So I'm not gonna put you on blast and bust you out, but you can see his comment. All right. I'm not gonna say his name because, again, thank you for watching, assuming you watched, but you need to watch the first 2 videos because our first 3 videos in a row, like Star Wars, so you understand. Because I theorized, looking at it, this is what happened. Looks like I got shot in the head. Looks like I cavitated, and I give real world examples, and I even tie in movie quotes to kind of make it memorable in your brain. Because when you tie in a movie quote, it does something. It really does something, because Rush Limbaugh used to say this, and this is why I do this now. Because I did kind of do this. They used to call me the one-liner bastard and the analogy man, because I always try to analogize stuff. He said, I never tell people things. I give them enough information and let the hamster spin on the wheel and let them figure it out for yourself. Because, you know what? I'm going to add that clip.
A mother will give you knowledge. A father makes you earn knowledge.
Don't do that, sweetheart. It's dangerous.
No, wait. Well, go on. Yeah. Bet you're not going to do that again, though, are you?
Shot through the head. Because this is what it looked like. Again, I took what it looked like. I didn't follow the reports, try to bust out a 30-06. All I tried to do was to say, would a 30-06 do what I thought it did? I automatically said, no, it's too powerful. It's got to be something else. Then I listened to the sound. It's got to be a lower caliber, higher velocity. As I gave you examples of with the Coyote, then I did the same thing. I tested a gel block. It didn't go, or gel dummy. It didn't go through the gel dummy at a shorter range with the angle not being as high, and it still had the desired effect. All right, and same thing, and then I just found that Coyote head and decided to use the Coyote head, and it wasn't until after I'm analyzing the footage I went, oh my God, it broke that brick. Went right down the Foreman Magnum. Because I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, oh my God, it broke the brick. So I had to go back and videotape that part that you saw. Hey, it broke through the Foreman. Broke the brick of the Foreman Magnum. So you guys got to watch the videos. So the first video was talking about how this could happen, and I give you how the cavitation happens in a gel block, which is exactly what happens in tissue, deer tissue, because it blasts. Anybody who's ever hit a deer with a high-powered rifle looks at the insides and it's just completely blasted away, just completely destroyed. All right, said it again. Sorry, completely destroyed. This is what it does. The hydrostatic shock collapses back in on itself. Right, the boom obviously is the big one, but then that collapse back in, it also does damage because the wave, the power of the wave goes through again. Now again, the big one, but that's where boom, and the tear happened and came out. I showed you pistol shrimp. The pistol shrimp in the ocean, its weapon is, it goes boom, it forms a bubble, and the bubble collapsing in on itself is what forces the energy of the water to hit the prey and stun them so that the shrimp can eat them. I give you real world examples of this. Nobody else does that. Oh, it's people having seizures. Really? Why don't you show me somebody handling this and them having a seizure? I know it's hard to get a hold of, but oh, it happened this way. It was electrocution. Really? Electrocution, people go like this. Go watch type it in YouTube or Rumble. Somebody getting electrocuted. They basically just stay there. They just freeze. I just saw one the other day where a kid stepped on something and and just froze. And he was on, and he fell, and and oh my God, his mom gets up, are you okay? Are you okay? Get electrocuted. It's not like you see in the movies. Because all your muscles tense up. All your muscles tense up, the electricity's flowing through. That's also where you see smoke coming out because it basically fries. It boils off all the water instantaneously because we're 70% water. So you guys got to use your head on this. The second video, which I also was on Sean Atwood for, was to show that thing. And I did this independently. I just went and looked. All this is just, every time I'm like, man, I wish I had this. And then somebody posts a video that basically disproves, even though they don't know anything about me, trying to disprove my theory. All right, just, again, happenstance. It's like, hey, it can't happen this way. It's got to be this. And it shows exactly what I needed to show. That first time, it showed. Because when I tried to send information to TriggerSmart, and the algorithms basically said, hey, here's a video that might interest you. And one of them was Paramount Tactical in late October, before I even got in on any of this. It showed him analyzing that video. And that's when I managed to get a hold of him tweeting. He's like, well, throw me your theory. He's like, oh, that's parallax. Parallax, all right, is a camera going like this, and it changes the views, not the camera going like this. So I don't know where he gets this from, but I'll show you his response to me. But he says, oh, this is garbage. And the thing that's coming up is exactly the same moment as the shot takes place.
Brings a pretty good audience.
So that's what I wanted to show. Like, oh my God, I said the shot came from here. And all of a sudden, right at that, boom, here comes this thing coming up, and then goes back down again. And him and somebody else said, hey, it was Audio-Freq, because he was on TriggerSmart. I don't know if you see, I don't even know if I mentioned that yet. But Audio-Freq, he posted something 4 days ago saying, does anybody have a clearer video of this or something you can stop it? Because so then you get to the third video, and the third video is me proving what I said in the first video. I shot the gel dummy. The bullet didn't go through on a 22-250, 3,600 feet per second. It's a varmint round, but it didn't go through the head with no skin, no hair. All right. And the skull, obviously, of a human being is stronger than that plastic stuff that they had in the gel block, but it didn't go through. Okay. Now we know that if they're using this 22-250, a 22-250 and a 22-23 and 5.56 NATO are basically the same thing, only the 22-250 is even faster. So if you get something lighter, 22-223 is not, and a 5.56 is not going to go through. Full Metal Jacket, well, that's what we tested with the goat's head. Full Metal Jacket might have gone through, but there's a good chance that it didn't, because the human skull is bigger than the coyote skull. I shot the coyote skull, all right, and it stayed intact, but blasted right down the forearm and magnum, broke that brick. So that's what I had to prove on that, to show exactly that ballistically and forensically, this can happen. So then we get to this video. Now, this video here is to tell everybody that the day I'm trying to, so what was that, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, the day I'm trying to get this information out there. All right, I did this 4-hour thing, and I'm on this older computer, and it took 3 hours to render. So it renders, and as it's rendering, I'm listening to TriggerSmart with Audio-Freq on, because when I was going, again, all just strange happenstance, when I'm going down to Huntington to do these tests, I listened to TriggerSmart with this Audio-Freq guy, and he says, well, I'm doing, and he's a sound engineer, so this is what he's trained to do. Right, so saith he, I no choice to believe him. I think he's Australian or New Zealand or something. And of course, I can't find him anywhere online. I can't find any way to contact him. Again, maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm not using AI. But I can't. I sent a note or email to TriggerSmart. I haven't received anything back. I don't know if he gets it. I'm going to send one to Baron tonight to say, hey, first off, I proved my theory. Secondly, if you need merch, hey, we can take care of you. Print to be creative gifts, print2be.com. print2begifts.com. We'll take our leveling words for it, and we also do web design, graphic design, all of it. Anyway, so where the hell was I?
And where the hell was I?
Okay, talking about Audio-Freq. So I'm driving down, and I put that video on. This is whatever, 2 hours long, and I'm driving, just listening to it. And he's talking about, well, they did the sound analysis from over here on the Lucy building, and this because, and he said, the minute you get a red flag, it's done. It's over with, right? You get test, like whatever Star Trek episode where they run this simulation to see if they can get up some whatever time loop or whatever, and it's like, all right, we ran it, succeeded, ran it again, didn't succeed, ran it again, so it's like we need to have 100% in order for us to do this to make sure we don't die. So basically, okay, this it's almost like checklists off of dating somebody. How many kids you have? 2. Okay, perfect. Religion? Okay, perfect. You like this? Okay, perfect. You like sex this many times? Okay, perfect. Can you cook? Okay, perfect. You're going down the list, and all of a sudden, there's the deal breaker. So one red flag on any of these tests ixnays it. So he did the Losi Center shot. This is what I remember anyway. It's been a month and a half. So he spent a month and a half just like I did, collecting all this stuff and getting it done. As far as I know, is everybody's original sound data from their phone so he could triangulate stuff. So, and then he did the one where they said it shot from Charlie's left, which is the video that the guy posted to say it couldn't have shot from Losi building. The only line of sight is this, which is where I saw that guy up on the roof that I thought nobody else had seen. But, and again, they just, can't be anything. I'm like, no, you don't understand. He's right there. He's right there. Exactly where my ballistics and forensic evidence say. So then, Audio-Freq is on TriggerSmart. I'm rendering this. It's taken 3 hours. So I'm listening to this, and he said, yeah, I've run a bunch of different scenarios, and I finally found one that works that had green flags all the way through. And it's right here. Right there, exactly where I say the shot came from, exactly where that little anomaly pops up on the building, right as the shot's being taken. So basically, Baron, correct me if I'm wrong, this is admissible in court. Everything that I say, for example, will probably be the opening statement, I guess. Again, I wanted to be an attorney. I don't know if I do it now only because when you're an attorney, you have to do things that the bar says. You can't do certain things. And like you said, if I helped on this case, then I couldn't talk about it. So just knowing the law is almost being better than having, anyway. So it's basically an opening statement saying, this is what happened. This is what happened to Charlie. Shot came in from here, right? Cavitation starts here. Boom, 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 boom. Cavitate. Right, the hydrostatic shock, boom, collapses back in on itself. And on this one, boom, that's where you see the jump of the sweater. Boom. And then, boom, the boom jumps this, causes the skin to come out, tears, just like the nurse said, back like this, and on that boom, it goes out like that, hitting his red nucleus, causing the cortical posturing, causing the blood to come out, and he's dead. He's dead instantaneously. They said they had a pulse. I don't know. My guess would be no, or if it's something weak, maybe. But that's what happened. Fell over, and there's no blood because it's so curious, but no, it's not. It's the tissue coming out. That's why it's dark. That's why it's a lot of it, and that's why it only plops out once. That's why the guys didn't have a lot of blood, like this guy said. Oh yeah, they're what did he say? Supposed to make it look like a chest shot. Broke a piece out of the. I believe security team was removing all the evidence with all the hands off before they took him into the car. No, it's because he's all damaged internally. You can't do anything. Any medic, Valhalla, back me up. You get like internal damage. Somebody shot like that, you get internal damage. Boom. If it's shot through here, go like this, you can't stop bleeding because number one, his heart wasn't pumping. If it was, it was very weak. But there's no arterial spray because his heart isn't pumping because he got shot right through the brain, right through the red nucleus. And it came out of his neck. All the tissue came out of that tear because it's the path of least resistance, and it might have dripped out, but there's nothing they could have done. He was gone. There was no bleeding that they could control because there's no blood vessel that was damaged that they could control because it was all done internally. His brain was gone. Everything makes sense. Everything in my theory makes sense.
Everything. Everything.
There's no holes. Try to refute it. I beg you. I beg you. I beg you. Like one thing, I'm not arguing, I'm just showing, I'm just say. I'm not arguing, I'm explaining why I'm right. I'm not arguing, I'm explaining why I'm right. So this is what these videos show. And you have to watch them all. Alright? But Audio-Freq basically, independently, alright, TriggerSmart and Audio-Freq, like I said, I tried to get a hold of TriggerSmart. He hasn't responded. Alright? I can't find Audio-Freq to say, hey, you prove my theory. Do you realize that between you and me, we proved the theory? The only thing is I'm missing the one piece of evidence is the bullet hole of the TPUSA tent, which I almost guarantee that because Charlie's gone and because, well, they obviously didn't get a new one for that one. They didn't give a new one for the new year because it was his second show, right? And maybe they had one on order, but it's just like any political campaign. They'll use stuff until it's either so torn. It's just like you use a t-shirt until it's either faded or ripped or out of style or it doesn't fit anymore. You keep the, hell, I've got shirts over here that are probably old enough to drive a car. But every single one of my theories works. All right? See, tangent, focus. The tent that they used is probably the tent that they used at the TPUSA, or TPUSA, Amfest, because why would they buy another one? Charlie's gone. They're not going to need it again. It's like in the Goonies, where they're at the pirate ship and Mikey pulls up the sword and then he said, don't do that. That's disrespectful. He says, why? He's dead. He doesn't care. Right? They're going to use the same thing. So if somebody's got any video or pictures where it shows that bullet hole, that proves without a doubt. And if somebody actually has that tent, hands down proof. Not beyond a reasonable doubt. Absolute hands down proof. We've got my theory that shows exactly what happened with the cavitation. It shows he got hit in the head. He bounces down here, which points to up here. You've got a guy up on the roof going like this at the exact moment that the shot is taken. It's a building where nobody has access to except for faculty and staff. Yet nobody's gone in to say, hey, Mr. Person with the access or Miss Person with the access who gives the key cards, like I explained in my video, because I was a music student, I could go into and this is in the late 90s, I could go into the lab anytime I want and use the music computers, which is the same room we had our music theory classes and any engraving classes, which is usually a side project. But you find out who that is, you'll solve the case, or at least it'll pinpoint you to solve the case, which then pinpoint to the who and the why, which is what we need because I've solved the how. Why don't you guys get on board? I'm getting kind of pissed at this. Well, I don't believe you're shot. I don't care. It's not God. All right? It's not the Holocaust to KKK members. You don't have to believe. It's right there. There's footage. All right? All of your theories, I can debunk. All of my theories, you can't debunk. Absolute 100%. If we find that tent with the hole in it, which probably has gunshot residue around the rim. I make a joke about that. We got it. 100% absolute, no questions asked proof. Because just like the entrance wound of a head, you know the caliber. So that's number one. And if that bullet hole matches the caliber and has gunshot, 100% irrefutable proof. Irrefutable proof. Not reasonable doubt. Absolute 100% irrefutable proof that this is what happened. Like I said, now that we know the how, we can focus on the why and the who. The who is going to be either special forces. Maybe it's some dude that got lucky. Maybe it's just some dude that just happened to get lucky, go in the hook, boom, and managed to get away scot-free in a building that only faculty and staff can access, which is why nobody was up on that balcony with the ghillie suit plant and the table. No one's up there. Why? Because students weren't allowed up there. Only faculty and staff. So this video is to say that we've solved the case. All right. Between Audio-Freq and me. Basically, I solved the case. Audio-Freq basically just bolstered it and said, well, I've got this other piece of evidence that says it right here. Exactly where I said and exactly where that thing came up, which was 2 months ago. Now, obviously, you guys don't know because I haven't given you the proof, but now I've given you the proof. Watch video 1, then video 2, then video 3, and you'll understand that this case has been solved. It's been absolutely 100% solved. So I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to look through my notes to see if there's anything else I got to say. And I'm just going to say, all right, let me interject, correction, addendum, and I'll add it to this. But I feel like Cassandra, a Greek mythology, destined to know the truth, destined to know the future, but also destined to never have anybody believe her. This has been the story of my entire life. That's why I never thought I was that smart, because just like with the Ash line test, I'm like, oh, that line's longer, that line's longer. And all my life, it's like, that line's longer. No. I'm like, well, if 7 other people say it's got to be B instead of A, I go, okay, maybe, I guess I'm wrong, because there's no way that 7 other people aren't going to see this. But guess what? There's 7 million people out of 7 billion people who just can't see. Otherwise you wouldn't have people saying, hey, we need to get these criminals to stay. It's like, yeah, you know what? Have your daughter. Anyway, so I think I'm going to end it. But this case is solved, ladies and gentlemen. It is solved. It is absolutely solved. And yeah, I'd love to debate. And for comment, dude, thank you for doing that, because that sparked me to say, hey, this needs to stop. Now, watch it all. Watch it all. Take notes. Comment. Email me. redsrandom@gmail.com. Honestly, if you're just some regular dude, don't have a channel, and want to debate, send a few things in an email. I mean, if it was this, I'm not going to waste my time. All right. If you think, oh, it's a piece of bulk off, take what I have said to you and say, well, what about this? What about, no, you see, if the bullet went in here, then it would have done this and not this. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's discuss that. Let's debate. All right. If you're Candace or Baron, anybody, hands down, I'll debate you about anything, even this stupid garbage. Well, it was an exploding microphone. Really? Where are the pieces to it? Where's the footage of it exploding? All right. And like I said in the other video, Baron, all right, your circumstantial evidence to that, well, there's supposed to be a delivery on this day, and this person was connected to this person. Okay, great, very circumstantial. But if we didn't have video, I believe it. Just like everybody believed that Oswald did until we saw the Zapruder tape, and we went, oh, why? Because the video is the evidence, not circumstantial garbage. Well, it exploded. Well, I'll show you it didn't explode. Oh, it exploded. Okay, then why didn't it go all the way through? Why isn't there flash before that happened? Why is there no flash? Why is there no explosion? Why is there no soot? Why is there no tear? Why is there no flesh being destroyed? Why is there no blood? Why is there no residue? And why are the people that are supposed to handle all this crap not having seizures? Like I said, they paved it over, likely because just in case there was a bullet there. And has somebody taken that and all the video? You look. I'm not going to waste my time. You look. Is there rebar in that concrete on the concrete slabs? If there's rebar, well, you probably SOL. If there's no rebar, you could probably take a really good metal detector and still find that bullet. But guess what? It's not in there. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 95% sure. All right. Like I said, I've almost died 5 times in 5 years. I'll bet my life on. No. Won't bet that. But I'll bet, I don't know. A gay dude giving me the handy on live TV. That I'll at least suffer the humiliation of that for. It's humiliating. I don't swing that way. I wish I did. Really wish I did. I wish I was bi. And do you know why? Because my penis would never be dry. Gay dudes love me. I really wish I liked dudes. Anyway. Oh, we wish it looks dudes gay. Oh, now you're a gay hater. No, I didn't say that. Right there. All you freaks. So, all right. I'm going to end it here. Please, guys, tell Baron, tell Candace, tell TriggerSmart, tell all. You don't need to worry. The theory, it's here. It's here. We've got it. We've absolutely 100% got it. Now we can focus on the why and the who. The who is going to then tie us to the why. Right? But if we could find out that, okay, we know now it comes from here. Now we find out who accessed that. Now we try to tie that in with the Egyptian play. Now we try that in with Huachuca. Now we try to tie that in with foreign countries. Now we try to tie that in with that because we know where it was, what it was, and likely what caliber bullet, which is probably just a simple 5.56 NATO or a 2.23. So, if there's anything else, I'll let you know, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode, number 4 episode of Red's Random Ruminations. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to email me. Hit me up on X. I called it X correctly. Comment on the video, because now I don't need more information. In my first video, I said don't comment unless it's be serious. Comment all you want. Comment all you want. You want to be stupid? Hey, comment all you want. No problem. I haven't really started using Instagram or Reddit or anything like that, but I'm going to have to start soon. I need to get some new equipment. Maybe you guys, these aren't going to be monetized ever, because I need this information out there. These videos aren't monetized. I will never monetize them unless it's like some blanket thing to where if you monetize, then it has to be, in which case they'll probably take them down because it discuss stuff that you can't say on YouTube, the free speech channel. But I don't know, maybe put them up on Rumble too and whatnot. But you can contact me. All right. And as of now, I don't have the volume like all these other guys do to where I won't be able to answer you. And I think, was it Angela? I still owe you a response. Matter of fact, I'll probably do that right after this. But contact me. All right. And hopefully then we can get monetized, and then I can get better equipment. So it's not going to take me 30 hours. Oh, that was what I was going to say. So I was listening to TriggerSmart and doing the Audio-Freq, and I'm so excited. I'm jumping up and down that the thing rendered. It finally rendered. So I decided to bounce it right to disk. Right. So I tried to bounce it to disk and went, oh man, that RAM is probably just chock full. The volatile memory is just probably full from rendering for 3 hours. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to cancel it out, and then, I'll restart the computer and bounce it to disk. So I cancel it out, and the app crashed. So, yeah, and, I forgot to hit even more. Yeah. So I had to re-render it. So it took another 3 hours, and then as soon as it was over, I hit save, and then I restarted the computer. And then the reason I didn't release it the day before, which is the same day that TriggerSmart and Audio-Freq, or Audio-Freq was on TriggerSmart, was because of this computer, because it's 4 hours long, it took 30 hours to bounce. So try to prevent that from happening. So hopefully you guys can, help out, make me monetize, help me get new equipment. But again, anybody wants merch, or anybody wants merch for anything, custom work, pretty much anything you want. And it's also web design, graphic design. She's a tier 1 graphic designer. Really has nothing to do with this, because she hates politics. And matter of fact, she's almost reluctant to have it do. It's like, well, I don't know if I want to be tied to that, because what if I get people hating me? It's like, look, you have nothing to do with this, but it's just a business. But we do good work. She does good work. I just talk. So that's it. We'll see you guys later. Once again, this is Red from Red's Random Ruminations. I'm Red. That's my time, and I am out of here.